Hi there and welcome to Cam's Jungle Aquaria. Today I'm going to be talking about how to dial in your pressurized CO2 system. So this is a method advocated by Tom Barr, and it takes a few weeks depending on how quickly you make adjustments and how much you're observing your tank during the day. But I feel like it really allows you to maximize the CO2 levels in your tank without harming the fish in any way. So the first step of this whole process is just to find a starting point on your regulator. I like to start at around 1 to 2 bubbles per second. It's usually pretty safe starting point. And from there, just constantly make observations in your tank. It's nice to have a drop checker during this period of time, but I don't feel like these are the most accurate. I do feel like the fish and the plants should be a #1 source for seeing what the CO2 levels are at. They're going to give you a more instantaneous response and a more accurate reading than anything like a drop checker would. So definitely make your observations. If the fish are gasping near the surface or they've slowed in their activity during the day that you've noticed, then you may need to increase surface agitation or turn down your CO2. There is a balance between surface agitation and pressurized CO2. When you're using pressurized CO2, you don't want to have a humongous wave going across the water, but you do need like a small ripple to keep oxygen levels high enough. I think I've mentioned this in the previous video, but oxygen levels and CO2 levels aren't related to one another. So you can have high CO2 and low oxygen, or high CO2 and high oxygen. Those two things are not related to one another, so they're independent of one another. And so after you've found that starting point and you've observed the tank for a few days at least, and you feel like you can turn up the CO2 a little more, then you can do that. Don't turn it up too much, because these quick adjustments will cause algae, and obviously they may harm the fish if you turn it up too much in a short period of time. So definitely have patience with this process, and eventually you'll find the point where that you're injecting too much CO2 and the fish are suffering from that, and then you can turn it down a little bit, and that will be your maximum amount in the tank. If you have any questions about this process, then leave that in the comments below, and thanks for watching.